Yes, sir. We back for the second YouTube drop of Jim's Battle Thoughts. This episode number 2. We talking about the same type of topic. However, we looking at it from a different side of things, right? Look, shout out Spliffs and Bars. Shout out Third Degree TV. Shout out Doug Ghetto Lounge. Shout out TWB Show. And shout out Captain Live. They all stamp me. I got to shout them out every episode. I don't give a fuck. But now let's get into the topic. Now we looking at the shit that URL doing from the fan side. I don't give a fuck, man. Fuck all that, man. Like, I'm talking about the same shit. I don't give a fuck. Somebody got to speak on this URL bullshit. I get it. Niggas say you speak about it too much, it get annoying. And guess what? Niggas going to say as well that if you speak about it, you just giving them publicity. I don't give a fuck. Because the niggas who speak about the bullshit they doing, they don't even do views. And that's not what I'm here for anyway. I'm here to speak on what need to be spoken on. I'm a fan of this shit, man. Not enough artists who deserve shots get shots, and the artists that's on URL, they getting tricked into thinking that just being there mean more than getting the right visibility, right, to actually improve your bag. All right? Look, URL has been over the last few years, 4 or 5 years type shit. If you really look at it, they have been looking to sign artists that don't really have much leverage on their own, niggas who don't really do certain views, niggas who, if you really pay attention to the underground shit, right, you know it's niggas with more talent than who URL decides to sign, right? However, if you sign these artists that you can push because URL as a business, rightfully so, believes that if URL gives an artist their backing and pushes them through that URL machine, they will blow up. And if they do, right, because this artist is a bit unknown, they owe their success to URL, which in turn means URL can continue to control their bag and their leverage. Okay? Now look, if YouTube was still in the mix, that gives a bit over a million people, right, due to the amount of subscriptions that URL has on YouTube, over 1 million. That gives a larger amount of people to be able to view them for free and decide who they think is tough, who is not, right? And guess what? URL books somebody, let's say 500, 600,000 people view the battle. These a new artist, right? A lot of the comments are saying, oh, he really that, this and that. That amount of views affords that artist more of an opportunity to say, okay, I should deserve this amount of bread because you dropped this other new artist battle and they did 70K views. You feel what I'm saying? So look, then you got to break it down even further, right? Depending on who URL signs off rip, especially if YouTube not involved, that also hinders that artist's opportunity to negotiate in their favor. You see what I'm saying? So let's say there's an artist who's never been on a major league. However, they're on a smaller league, battling type shit, and that league has 40,000 subscribers, but they are so good, right, that they have a couple battles on this 40K sub channel, but they have a couple battles that get to 150,000 views. Okay? That means they have brought in more subs, more than triple the amount of subs than the channel they battling on even has. Okay? That's called leverage. So let's say URL signs that artist from that 40K subscription channel who does battles and gets 150,000 views. When they go to URL and do a PG, right, they already have a large amount of fans, whether it's from that channel or from outside that channel, that will watch, okay? Boom. They get to URL, drop on the tube. Now this battle goes out to 1 million plus subscribers, and let's say 400 to 500,000 people watch it there. That artist automatically has the ability to say, I brought in, come on, man, at least 110,000 of those people, right? Because I came from a league with 40K subs, and I have multiple battles with 150K views, right? That means my talent is bringing people outside of the subscription numbers on that small league to watch, okay? So you can't take credit for every person who watched this, right, on URL, even though absolutely you can take credit for some because you have more subscriptions on the URL YouTube. If I'm losing you, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. All right, so look, this is what URL is doing. One, they go behind the paywall. They create an app that people have to pay for. They know a smaller amount of people is going to be willing to pay for that app. However, they can but they can now say, this amount of people who viewed you, we don't know if this is because of you or this is just because they followed us and paid for our app and they decided to watch your battle, regardless of how many it is, okay? So what they're doing now, they're trying to sign these artists who are lesser known, right? So that if they do gain a buzz, URL can say, look, you only are gaining this buzz because we put you on our app that's behind a paywall. And a lot of us who really follow the underground battle leagues and shit, we know it's a lot of niggas with more talent and that's more known and have more great battles than some of these artists that they are now booking and locking into these contracts. These up-and-coming artists, right? A lot of these niggas, we don't know who the fuck they are. I'm not going to name names, but we know what I'm saying, okay? Once you get that machine behind you and it's behind the paywall, URL got the ability to say, we are the reason for whatever positive happens in your career. That's it. All right, so boom. Then we get into this Beasley interview. We see the nigga talking about how, oh yeah, YouTube drops, they're not really responsible for building stars anymore. We built this and that person. And you see the fans buying into it, but I don't think they've done the breakdown of what the plan is from URL. It's always simply for them to make sure that they control the leverage over the artist and that the artist has to feel as though I owe URL for my buzz and my ascension, right? And that's where shit is not, it's not really, look, as a business, okay, cool, that makes sense. But it's too many fans and artists who is a little excited by this shit to the point where they don't even realize what's going on, but they'll blindly stick up for the shit, okay? So then you got fans who's willing to pay $8 a month for this app, all right? Let's say if we break down URL's YouTube subscription numbers, they got between 1 million and 2 million subs on YouTube. Let's take the short end of that and let's go 1 million. Let's take 10% of that million. Let's say 10%. They say if you have a fan base, 10% of that fan base is willing to be a paying fan. All right? So we go 10%. 100,000 people decide, okay, we'll pay for the app. 100,000 times 8, that's 800,000. Multiply that by 12 months, right? 9.6 million. URL makes 9.6 million if that's the math before taxes. So let's even round it down to 7 million a year. At that point, we got to start questioning who is being signed and why fans feel the need to back this company and their shady type of business practices when they're making multiple millions per per year. Okay? We've heard the biggest artist in URL at the time, Surf, tell everybody on Twitter Spaces he signed a 3-battle contract for $150K. $50,000 per battle for 3 battles in a contract. That's a lot of bread, right? It is. Truthfully is. However, though, they also got bread from Caffeine, the gaming app, okay? The game streamer app, people who stream, playing video games, but they also have, obviously, battle rap. They have Ball Is Life. They have comedy groups on there, shit like that, all deaf, shit like that. All right, bet. So, at what point do battlers really feel like I'ma take my own career in my own hands, not sign myself away to this company who has showed shady business practices, right? Because we've seen top tier artists, K-Shine, Av, Rum Nitty, Hollow the Don speak out against how URL runs their business, right? So why would we think it's not some bullshit going on with these younger artists, right? And at what point as fans do we recognize we being brainwashed to think that this is the cream of the crop when if we really in tune, we know there's other artists who deserve more shine and more looks that are not getting booked, not because they not good enough, but simply because they have a certain amount of leverage that will make URL have to pay them more. All right, so yeah, if you're looking at it from a business aspect, yeah, I get it. That sounds like a good business plan from URL. However, though, just like they not transparent with the fans when it comes to this Kings vs. Queen event where we got to pay $25 now after with a week's notice, right, for only a week of the video on demand, and then they're trying to trick us into thinking that a month free of the app after paying for that is really something when we know within that month that event is not going to drop on the app, right? They've showed us shady business practices as a fan, right? They've showed some of these top tier, most popular artists shady business practices that they are not getting over on these younger artists, right? When there are not younger, but newer artists that are trying to be built by URL, while as fans, we already know there's other artists who aren't getting that shine that deserve the look, but they won't get that look because it's not about the talent. It's about who can be controlled and locked in to these bad boy in the 90s type contracts that the same people who stick up for URL would argue against Bad Boy when it comes to artists like Mace, Black Rob, and Craig Mack. All right? We got to speak on the bullshit. Beasley goes on Champion, has this interview, tries to tell us Easy is a star because of the app. We look at everything. Just look at everything. Easy got popular through Caffeine. His Ultimate Madness battle, he had gained a little buzz off that because people said, even though the judges picked his opponent, Fonz, people were saying, oh no, Easy won that. Then Easy starts doing blogs. He speaks on that. He speaks on this and that. And where does he do his blogs? On the Urltv app? Absolutely not. He does his blogs on Caffeine and YouTube. Okay? More importantly, YouTube. So boom, those start getting traction. Then he does a diss track on YouTube. Gets crazy amount of traction. Then, as Easy has told us, he's battling on Caffeine and somebody who is involved with the Fresh Prince remake that drops on the streaming app owned by NBC, the bird with the colorful feathers. Pause in advance. It's called Peacock. Pause for all you pause niggas out there. He gets that opportunity. Not from the app, but from caffeine, okay? And he gets these bigger battles in part because of the diss track that he dropped, not on the URL app, but on YouTube. You see what I'm saying? As fans, we got to break down what the fuck is going on. And especially when we as fans can watch the J Black app and even see how Beasley was not transparent with us as fans. When he says, yeah, we get this, you pay $25, I think that's a good price, and then you get the video on demand after the event, and you can watch it as many times as you want. Really? Can we watch it as many times as we want, Beasley? Or can we watch it for as many times as we want for 7 days? And then we have to wait for them to drop that event on the app. And we all know, if you have had the app or you have the app, we know how long it takes them to drop shit on the app. That little bit should show us he is not someone who's transparent. And as a fan of this shit, I just gotta point out all the shit I see that's not transparent. And if you're really a fan, it shouldn't even take me saying this. We have seen some of the most popular battlers, right, that we all know and love and support. Hollow the Don, Rum, Av, and K-Shine most recently. And we have seen them speak out against it. We've seen Mook tell us they paid niggas not to battle him on this card. We've seen this and that nigga. We've seen JC get booked for an RBE battle, but then somewhere along the line, he has to cancel that battle and battle on, and URL brings him back to battle on caffeine on the same day he would have battled on that RBE card. You see what I'm saying? See through the bullshit. Don't get blinded by the motherfucking the language and the lingo that this machine is putting out there. And I know I'm in the minority of people who think like this, but guess what? I don't give a fuck. Somebody gotta say it, man. And if I'm gonna keep saying it, I'm gonna keep saying it. Fuck it. Shout out to everybody, man. I don't know if that was enough to really make sense. It was a lot of information all over the place, but just listen close. Listen close, man. This won't be my last episode. It's gonna drop on the tube. Shout out to everybody, man. Jim's Battle Rap Thoughts. YouTube drop number 2. These niggas is brainwashing everybody. I'm out.